Hi, it's Rita Wilkins, the downsizing designer. It's Tuesday. I'm a little bit late because I was on a call with my son from Africa that went over. But anyway, I'm here and I wanted to talk to you about an interesting conversation I had the other day with a client. And I wanted to share that with you because she had some valuable insights, and what she said is so true. So it was, the conversation was about, and this was her quote, "Now that we've decluttered, we don't want to move." So when I first met with this client about 6 months ago, they asked me if I could assist them with discerning whether they should downsize or age in place. And I've developed a particular process that I go through with my clients to determine which might be the better direction for them to take. And we do a lot of assessments, some preliminary design and so forth. So anyway, they can analyze it both aesthetically and lifestyle-wise and also financially. So I went through my step-by-step process with this client, and ultimately they decided to downsize to a home that had a first floor bedroom suite. So, but before they did all of that, it was quite apparent that they needed to declutter by a lot. And I've seen many things, but it was pretty messy. So when I first walked through their home with them, there was some obvious clutter, from too much of just about everything, particularly furniture that they had inherited or it had been passed down to them. But what also became apparent was their penchant for visiting antique shops, flea markets, and resale shops. They knew they didn't need one more thing, but in her own words, they just couldn't pass up a good bargain. So this had become a habit for them, and maybe on some level it was a hobby. But their home was filled with knickknacks, collectibles of many kind, old books, old records, clothing of all sorts. So you name it, they had it, and they could probably have almost started their own resale shop by that time. So in addition to having too much furniture, too many collectibles, they also had a collection of what she called good finds that they found at yard sales on their yard sale excursions just about every week. And because they were both in their mid-60s, both still in good health, they realized that one day, though, both or one of them would have some difficulty maybe ascending the stairs on a regular basis. And they knew they had to declutter, but before they sold their home. So together, we created a 3-month plan to declutter their home from top to bottom, week by week. So we use multiple decluttering methods to help them keep motivated and also keep them inspired for that entire 3-month journey. So they were committed. And because we set a 3-month goal, and because we created a week-by-week plan, and we had milestones, and I was the one to hold them to account every single week, they were able to donate, sell, dispose of much of their excess accumulation from their entire home in just 3 months. So she was very proud of that fact, and I was happy for them and proud of them as well, and just kind of happy to be able to participate in that with them. So while that decluttering process was not easy and it took a lot of work, they stuck with it, and their house was ready to put on the market. But the funny thing was, the more they lived in their decluttered home, the more they fell in love with their home all over again. And I've heard that happen before, but she was so articulate about it. She said, "Rita, we just love our home." And so when she called me the other day, she started out by saying that now that we've decluttered our home, we don't want to move. And will you please help us design our space for aging in place? So this is why I love what I do. It's why I love my clients. It's kind of like a day in the life of a designer. So these are the kind of things that happen to me every single day, and they have for all these years. But anyway, it's a story that I wanted to share with you because there's so much to learn, about ourselves, about our lifestyles. You know, when we declutter, we start to see things differently. And in this particular case, they could see the bones of the home that they fell in love with in the first place. But with all of that clutter, they just lost sight of what the house really was. So anyway, we're in the process right now of designing their space for a first floor living and aging in place. So if you're considering downsizing or if you need to declutter, reach out to me and let's talk. All right, have a good night. Thanks.